There's a reason I chose the username I did for my Instagram account. A lot of people have asked why. My username is Bring Out the Gold. What does it mean? Oftentimes people will assume that it has something to do with finance or investing or that I'm some kind of Bitcoin bro, which is not crazy. It's easy for that to point to that kind of assumption. But the true meaning behind the name Bring Out the Gold for my username, it comes from a time in my life, maybe around 10 years ago at this point, when someone was praying for me and I heard that phrase and it really stood out to me. Whether you're religious or not, the point of this video is not to throw any kind of religious dogma onto you. The point of it is to iterate the value of wisdom, regardless of what your background is, your social status, your religion or lack thereof, your outlook on life, in any facet of life, wisdom is worth pursuing. So the idea behind the name points to the phrase, bring out the gold. It's about realizing and acknowledging the value in another human being, that each of us has value within us. Each of us has gold, and there are ways that we can bring that out for one another. And for me, in the beginning of my creative journey, it was photography. Like, I would take a lot of portrait photos. I was obsessed with lens flare. I remember the first time I got my nifty 50 for my Canon 60D. I had a blast with that lens. And in my practice and profession of portrait photography, I really took it as an opportunity to capture a portrait of someone, show them the back of the camera and say, hey, here's how amazing you are. This is how cool you look. This is how beautiful a human you are. And what an honor it is to be in the presence of someone who's, as a religious person, I would say it's being in the presence of someone who's made in the image of God. You and I, in this creative act together, can represent the divine to one another and to the world. So for a long time, that was a huge encouragement to me, still is to this day. But at some point, I had a further realization beyond that, which was that it's not just a message for others, it became a message for myself. It was a realization that I also have gold within myself that can be brought out. For a long time, for a variety of reasons, I struggled with self-doubt and not really realizing my own value in a lot of ways. It translated to how I conducted myself in relationships, how I conducted business. Every interaction that I had kind of stemmed from this unsureness of myself, or whether I belonged here, or whether it was okay for me to fill in the blank. And with my religious upbringing, it came from a place of, I need to be humble. And my interpretation of humility was making myself nothing, or putting everybody's needs before mine to the point of me being a doormat, which, if you're a healthy person watching this video, we can both realize now, looking back, that's not a healthy way to live or go about life. So being a yes man, being a people pleaser through most of my 20s led to me conducting my business in a way that was hesitant to even charge people. And beyond that, I had an even harder time charging a certain rate to people and just saying, this is what I charge for my services. Despite having the experience, despite them already expressing their confidence in my services, despite having the portfolio to back my services, everything in my circumstances was pointing to the fact that my work was worth this dollar amount. And I had every reason to have the confidence necessary to just say, not even in an oppressive way or what felt like I was doing too much, say, this is what I charge. It took a long time for me to overcome that and replace that version of humility with a humility that coexists with confidence. So looking back, I'm grateful I chose that username because it is serving me to this day in the healthiest of ways, where it's a mantra. Every time I log in, I see it. Every time I'm tagged in something, I see it. And it's a reminder to me, in the most pleasant way, of why I'm doing what I'm doing. For the sake of others, but also for the sake of myself. Selfishly, I find a sense of purpose in it. Maybe that's not selfish. Maybe that's just something I need to fully be myself in order to empower others to fully be themselves, too. Yeah, I didn't write that down. I just thought of that right now. I think that's really good. I'm going to keep that in. That is a really powerful journey for me to take every single day that I'm checking Instagram. A reminder for others and also for myself. I want to leave you with something that you can take away from this, other than just my story. If you want a social media following, a certain career, a certain amount of money, whatever it is, I hope that you find a healthy conversation with yourself, or maybe with a trusted friend, answering the question, why do I want that? And when you're ready, I would go beyond that and ask an additional question. Is there a need I have that's deeper than the followers? Maybe it's a need for a healed relationship from the past. Deeper than the career, maybe it's approval from my family. Deeper than the money, maybe it's respect from my peers. The point being, I hope you don't move through the world or through your life with an insecurity that you mask or cover with an external accolade. Here's the last thought, I'll put it another way. One way to think is, I do this, therefore I have this, therefore I am this. Do, have, be. A different way to think is, I am this, therefore I have this, and therefore I do this. Be, have, do. One starts with doing something in order to earn an identity. The other way starts with knowing who you are. And then from your identity, everything you have and everything you do proceeds from that confidence. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever the thing is to which you're aspiring, I hope that you do so with a fuller realization of your value beyond the accomplishments themselves. You have gold. You are gold. And I hope you find your way to bringing that out.